Morning, beautiful people. Good morning from wherever you're joining us, whether you're joining us from London, New York, Lagos, Laos, Tokyo. Good day to you. This is the Market Caller brought to you by yours truly, the Value Flow Trading team. My name is CJ, and together with me, we have Cynthia, Abby, Demola, and Lekon. And together, we're going to be taking you through the Market Caller for today, where we're going to be analyzing major currency pairs, indices, both for commodities, currencies, and also indices for US stock and synthetic indices as well. We're going to be showing you how the week has fared and how the week has played out. And then we're going to be telling you the possible trades that we're expecting for this week. These are the things we're going to be covering during today's market call. So sit tight and enjoy the rest of the program today. Starting off with the analysis for dollar against gold or gold against the dollar, we are looking at a possible midweek reversal, all right? So since the beginning of the week on Monday, we told you that we're expecting a bearish gold moving into this week. And one of our targets was first at this level here. We're expecting gold to take out 4,120. And then we're expecting a break of the 4,000 region, which was somewhere around here, at this particular low here, which is around the 4,000 price point. So price broke it and went into the 3,900 region. And that was on Wednesday. So Thursday, we started seeing a possible midweek reversal, and now it's confirming that we're seeing a move back to the upside, and we're expecting it to trade into this particular order block right here. Because if you run a quick Fibonacci retracement from this beginning of the trend all the way to if you draw a quick Fibonacci retracement all the way to this region here, you would see that price is going to be returning to around 50% region by the time it gets here. So we're expecting to see a retracement all the way to this level. So this is what we're looking to see. A move back here and then sell off to the downside. So I'm going to draw that again, so it's clear and you can always reference it whenever you go back to your chart. So I would even advise you replicate this markup on your chart so that you'll be in tune with what the market is doing at the time. So this is what we're expecting to happen, and it's already playing out. So I'm bullish on gold right now. I've been bullish since yesterday into today. We're looking to see some buys of gold all the way here and then a possible sell-off. So let's look out for possible trades for today. Now for today, we saw a quick retracement on gold into this order block right here. You can see the bullish, the buy setup we had yesterday, and it actually played out. We are looking to see another retracement, seeing that price just broke this region here, this particular structure. So this was the sell structure for the retracement. Price just broke it right now. So I'll be expecting a retracement into this region, possibly in the next hour or the next couple of hours. I'm expecting a retracement into this region. I want to see how price is going to retrace into here and then buy back to the upside. So this is what one of the things that I'm looking out for today. Now, if you also look at it on the 15 minutes time frame, you see that price, this is creating a fair value gap here on the 15 minutes time frame. So I want to see a retracement into here, and then I'll buy back to the upside. Another place we should be looking out for is this level right here. Because of this old high, we might see price return back to the old high and then move to the upside again. So I'm expecting a move either to this region or to this region as possible discounts for me to take more buys on gold to the upside. So this is my bias on gold, and this is what we're looking out for today. Now let's move over to the yen pairs. Now for the yen pairs, we've seen some subtle strengths returning to the yen basket generally. We're seeing bullishness on the yen, and it has been rallying for the past couple of days now. And we can see that the buy structure has just been forming little by little. You can see them right here. The buy structure has been forming on the yen pairs, yen basket rather. And we are seeing that it is inching higher to a more premium price point. And you see how that is affecting currency pairs like GBP, JPY, and the likes. So for the yen basket right now, with what I'm seeing, we're expecting a bullish run on the yen basket. So we're looking to see it buy all the way to the upside. But then when we're saying all the way to the upside, my immediate attention is drawn to this particular price point here. I'm looking to see what price is going to do by the time it gets here. And then after that, the next price point that will catch my attention is this level right here. So these are the two price points. We're looking to see what the yen basket will do when it gets to this particular places. So I'm very optimistic that we could have the bullish yen basket into next week. This week was bullish. Quick retracement was made and then bullishness resumed. However, we are not seeing that as a permanent outlook on yen. But right now, I just want to see what is going to happen when price gets to this particular region. So for GBP JPY, we're looking to see further and further sales. One of the places I want to see GBP JPY sell into is this order block. It was a few pips shy of it the first time it attempted. Right now, I would want to see it trade into it properly. So for GBP JPY, I'm bearish, and this is the target for GBP JPY sell. So if you look at it on the hourly time frame, you can see that the microstructure has already started forming. Right now, we're looking out for price actions that are going to support our decision on GBP JPY. GBP JPY has broken the Asian low. We're seeing a current retracement. I want to see price at this other block right here, and then I would sell off to the downside. So GBP JPY short starting from here, and then rounding it all the way to the downside. So this is what I want to look out for. So I'm looking at 15 pips as my target stop loss, and then my TP, I'll be targeting the low of yesterday. So this is my setup for GBP JPY. Once it plays out, I'll be taking my sell on GBP JPY and taking it all the way to this region. Then for Euro JPY, I'm expecting similar bias on Euro JPY. I'm expecting a sell-off. However, for Euro JPY, my target for a sell-off is this region right here. Okay, so we're looking to sell Euro JPY continuously until it gets there. You can see on 4-hour time frame that's made a proper retracement to this old low. We're expecting the continuation to the downside. So on the 15 minutes time frame, we're looking out for possible entry setups on Euro JPY, and one that we found is this particular guy right here. Seeing that this is a box pattern, this is an old high. We're looking to see what price is going to do around here. I will not be quick to enter a sell on Euro JPY, bearing in mind the current momentum. So I would want to just watch and see what price does around here. If it plays out well, then I'll take my sell. If it doesn't, then I would realign for another entry. These are the two biases that I have for gold. I'm expecting a bullish run. For GBP JPY and Euro JPY, I'm expecting a bearish run. Okay, so this sums up my analysis on gold and the yen pairs. Quickly, we're going to look at Euro USD, GBP USD, and DXY, which is the dollar index. And for that, we'll be having Cynthia join us on the market caller to share her thoughts and her bias on these pairs. Good morning, Cynthia.
Good morning, CJ. That was analysis from your end. Right, so we're just going to head straight to our chart to see what played out during the course of the week and what I'm expecting to see price do today. Starting off from the weekly time frame, of course, we've been looking at this price point for a period of time now for price to trace right back into 107.490 before the continuation of the sell to the downside. We're actually bullish on Monday on the XY, and as we can see into the rest of the week, price actually did buy into a premium level. So all I'm waiting for price to do, all I'm looking out for price to do into today and into next week is for price to retrace into this other block right here at 99.558 on the 4-hour time frame. Right, price already at premium, and of course we want to sell at premium. Short-term sell, of course, short-term sell. So after establishing this, I'm heading straight to my 15 minutes time frame to look out for possible entries. And on the 15 minutes time frame, I want to enter once price retraces into this left shoulder right here at 101.618. Shoulder sweep break. Once price returns into this level, I want to short the XY. And on Euro USD, let's see what price has for us on Euro USD. We're still looking at these price points on the weekly time frame for price to retrace all the way into this level 1.06763, and we were bearish at the beginning of the week, and we saw how price sold a bit, right? So all I'm looking out for price to do, because price is currently at discount, I want to see price retracing right back into this premium level, coinciding with this other block right here. And of course, we always want to buy at discount, right? Even on the 1 hour time frame, we're seeing that the most recent price action seems to be bullish. So I'm looking out for entries on the 15 minutes time frame where I'm comfortable entering this market would be this left shoulder at 1.13500. So shoulder sweep break, return right back into this left shoulder, and I want to buy Euro USD short-term buy. We know where we're buying into the other block on the daily time frame, right? So I'm looking out for buy opportunities today. You can set your pending orders so that once price gets into those levels, you'll be right on time to take positions in the market. And right, price will trigger your pending orders. On the weekly time frame for GBP USD, right, we still are looking at this price point for price to retrace right back into this level, 1.24683. This is indicative of the fact that we have not changed our analysis on the weekly time frame. However, on daily time frame, we've seen that price has traded into this level, this discount level. Price has taken out this high a bit. Not really, the break of structure is not so obvious. If it is not obvious, it is dubious. So I want to see price retracing at least into this other block. My first point where I'm expecting price to react from is this fair value gap right here. My second point is this other block. So I'm looking out for short-term buy opportunities. And of course, on the 1 hour time frame, as we can see, most recent price action is actually bullish. Price has taken out this previous high, retraced into this level that has been taken out, and we're expecting some form of buy from that point. On the 15 minutes time frame, I want to take my buy positions once price retraces into this left shoulder at 1.31708. Shoulder sweep break once price returns into this left shoulder. I want to buy. So today, I'm bullish on both Euro USD and GBP USD and bearish on the dollar. Please set your pending orders so that you're right on time into the market. With that being said, I'm done with my own analysis. Lekon, what are you seeing in the synthetics market? Since the forex market closes today, the synthetics market will be opened over the weekend. Please tell us what you're seeing and positions will hold into the weekend.
Good morning, Cynthia. Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to the Market Call brought to you by the Value Flow Trading Team. The market has been on steroid for the past few days now for synthetic, and this morning we'll be starting with the 75 index itself. All right. So looking at it from the daily perspective, looking at the 75 from the daily perspective, you are going to agree with me that a lot is going on the daily time frame of this 75 right now. Just as we can see, even on the daily time frame, we see how that price has been bullish all through, trying to take out this liquidity. While at the same time, I'm of the opinion that this is still the all-time high. We are still going to see it for this year, because since last year, price has been all the way to the downside. You can see this was last year. This is the last year. This still remains the high of the year. So we've not seen price trade into this level since the beginning of the year. Instead, we saw price trade lower, creating fresh low. And I want to believe this is the low of the year, and price is most likely coming to take out the high. But when price attempts this particular liquidity point, we expect some price reaction towards the downside. However, right now, if you look at it on the 4-hour time frame, you are going to agree with me that there are some levels there that price has been stalling, of which we are of the opinion that I want to see price get to this level and push all the way back again, because I'm of the opinion since on Monday we've been expecting that price to come and take out this liquidity, all these sales that we saw. When price take it out, then we can start buying. But instead, what price just did was price gave us some level of indecision. And looking at this box pattern that we have here, this seems to be that price has traded into it, but price has not really traded into it. So this still remains a very solid point for price to trade into. As a matter of fact, I'm still expecting a pullback to come and take out this liquidity here, then tap into this shoulder level. You see that much more clearly on the 1 hour time frame. If you look at it from the 1 hour perspective, you're going to see the sweep of liquidity. This was exactly the markup we had on Monday, that we're expecting price to come and trade into this shoulder level, and we just see price move closer to it sometimes till Wednesday afternoon, and then the bull run resumed all the way back up again. But in a nutshell, I'm still of the opinion that price is still going to pull back all the way to this level, then begin to buy up again. So let's wait to see what the weekend gives us into Monday, since we know that the market is not closing. So what we'll be expecting to do is price trading into this point first. From this level is where, as a matter of fact, since it has given a very clear liquidity point, so this is going to be where we are going to see the inducement taken out. This may not be the level again, because as at Monday, we are expecting that this level should be taken out. But now that we already have this discount pricing here, then this will be where price is going to take out, and we begin to see the buy all the way to the upside again. So for me, this is going to be it. Like this is the low, and this is the entry, and we are targeting all the way into our daily liquidity point. All right, so that is it for this 75. Let's quickly check 75 1S. For 75 1S, our markup still remains the same. Price has not really traded into our POI as we expected to do since on Monday. So this is still the shoulder. We have our sweep of liquidity here. We have our breaking market structure here. So price has traded into this discount, but I still expect it to trade further more to the downside into this shoulder level. And this is going to be it for the weekend for the 75 1S. Price trading into this region. And for those who are wondering how exactly do we do it, we have our community where we share all these trade markups, and we even get more trade call there every day, including Sundays. So you may want to join us there. It's just for you to reach out to us on our social media handle or our line. Then we onboard you, give you everything needed to be onboarded. Then you join us. All right. So this is the outlook for V75 1S, meaning we are expecting price to trade into this shoulder level, and we're going to ride it all the way to the upside, knowing fully well that 75 1S is now in a bullish trend, seeing that this two candle closes above this price line. All right, so that is that for V75. Lastly, V10 1S. Now, if you look at V10 1S from the 24-hour time frame, we are going to observe that we are very bearish all the way to the downside, right? And if you look at it all the way back to the 4-hour time frame, you are going to see we have our shoulder head. This is it here. As you can see it here, we have our shoulder here. You can see the sweep of liquidity at that point, and we've seen the break to the downside that took out this low. So I'm still of the opinion that price is coming further to trade into this region, and is going to be taking out liquidity around that level there, right? So price is going to take out this liquidity here. When price get to that zone, then we can now begin to look out for our sell continuation at that point. So in a nutshell, we have three markups that we are looking out for V75 itself, which is a sell to buy, V75 1S also a sell to buy, and V10 a buy to sell. All right, with our SL just above here and our take profit, we are riding it all the way here. Now there is a concern at this point, because when price begin to trade all the way to this point here, if it comes and take out this low, when price takes out this low here, there's high probability we see price trade back to the upside. All right, when price trade to that region, when it takes out this low, there's high probability we see price trade back to the upside. You know why? Because we already have our new boss pattern that has already formed here for a buy trend. Okay, so this is the shoulder. As you all can see, we have the shoulder just resting at that particular point there. You can see, so that's the shoulder there, and all we are waiting for is price to take out this point. So we have a sell to buy for 10 with 10, and sell, we want to sell. Then we look out after price taking out the liquidity point, then we can now begin to buy all the way back up again with our stop loss just around this region. And where are we now buying to? Then price is coming to grab the diagonal liquidity, which is the top of our origin of the sell. All right, so this is it for V10 and V75 1S and V75 itself. Right about now, we're going straight into the analysis of the indices market to see what is going on in the indices market, and we can take advantage of it. Taking us on that is Demola. Good morning, Demola.
Good morning, Lekon. Thank you so much for that beautiful analysis on synthetic. I hope we are all taking notes of this analysis so that we can make money from it, right? You're leveraging it as much as you can. All right, quickly to the indices market this morning. It's Friday recap. We'll just be looking at our markups for the week and how it's played out eventually. All right. So earlier on Monday, we are looking at the market in terms of leveraging the whole news and post from Trump during the weekend to take out sell in the market, right? And then on US 30, we are looking at this box strategy, this setup here, right? The market did beat 1:2 or so, and then reverse, took us out of the trade, all right, which is quite, I won't say painful, but it's just what it is in the market, right? This is around 1:2.5, but then our overall take profit was this zone, I guess, right? And then price took us out, and then it's still even selling to the downside, right? So this zone is still a very strong zone, which is very fine. We take this as a loss, right? Which we recorded for those that's placed pending order, right? If you were in the market, probably you might have taken this trade, yes or no, but let's just assume we all actually set a pending order, then we should expect that the market will have taken us out, right? However, why US 30 gave us this kind of setup, on US 100, we had a beautiful trade, right? We had a beautiful trade. Everyone can testify of that. The same box pattern. In fact, we have two setup for US 100. You have the first one, which is this zone, which we say, well, any reason price wants to, start from the shoulder, we have the setup. The second one is from this order block area, right? So if you remember, we have on NAS 100, 1:9 and 1:18, thereabout. You can watch the recap of our last market follow on Monday, where we had this setup analyzed, 1:9, and the second one is about 1:18, right? 1:18-ish, right? Same setup. Sorry, I'm trying to just bring it back to what we had last week. 1:18. Remember, somebody would have said, why didn't we catch the trade up until this zone? It's fine. In fact, we had a setup for this zone, right? If you remember very clearly, we said we are going to buy once market comes back into this zone, and that's what has happened, right? That's what has happened. We are seeing that buy to the upside, right? I'll look for displacement, this, and then join the buy also, right? But then a very valid reason why we took our take profit here was that this sell, right? This sell we're looking for, this first sell was created from this. Okay, let me come again. This first sell we had, right? This was the liquidity, external liquidity. And when we are now expecting price to react from this zone, the next level that is objective, right, is this external liquidity that we have here, right? And then that was what price took out. And then we had further, delivery to the downside to even up onto this zone, which is fine, right? Which is fine, no problem about that. We expect this morning, I'm expecting price to even, rally to the upside from this zone. So I'm looking for some form of displacement, shift of structures, shift of market structure, and then that would, further give me my push to the upside. All right, that being said, we're able to capture 1:9 and 1:18 from this trade. In fact, that's a beautiful one. If you only set the pending order we gave last week, not last week, earlier on Monday, if you had just set pending order and then left the trade to run by itself, you're looking at 1:9 and 1:18, depending on the broker you have also, because some broker are crazy, right? Some broker will have probably, use spread to stop you out on this trade, right? But if you're using an excellent broker, then you're good to go, right? You still be in the trade and then you can capture all of this. And this delivery was so perfect that it didn't take long, right? It took just a day for it to deliver and then you're good. So that's what we have for this week. On S&P 500, remember, we just looked at it briefly. We didn't take any trade significantly from the markets because structure still wasn't clear and we didn't have a form of box strategy. Now I'm seeing some forms of box strategy, right, on this zone here. And where is it? Simply this one over here, right? We have this other block. We have fair value gap beneath it that has not been tested. So we expect the price digs into this other block and then resume our sales to the downside. But that is contingent on the fact that we see fundamental that is supporting bearishness in the market. If all the fundamental we keep getting into next week is positive in terms of being a bullish move, then we should expect that this sell setup will not hold, right? It wouldn't hold, and overall on the daily time frame, we are still bullish, right? You can see we are still bullish. So that being said, that's pretty much what we have for this week. This week was beautiful. We had one stop loss on US 30, 1 hour down on US 30. However, on US 100, we're able to capture 9 hour and 18 hour. This doesn't come every day. I'm sure you know by now. But days like this or weeks like this are beautiful because you can leverage on it and then take advantage of the market. That being said, we'll be moving to the next part of this market color, which is the last part. So we're looking at commodity market, a recap of what happened this week in the market. Over to you, Abigail. What are you seeing?
All right, thank you for that, Jamila. Hello, everyone. Welcome once again to today's market color session. My name is Sabia and I'll take us through the last part of this analysis session, which will be covering commodity currencies like Demola rightly mentioned early on. So looking at what happened on these asset classes this week, AUD/USD was predominantly a sell move for this week. You can see how many beautiful opportunities the market presented, gave us sell opportunities, temporal buy, and then, even more sell-offs. So this has happened. I'm going to also look at NZD/USD quickly before we proceed to see what we're going to be looking out for going into Monday, right? So NZD/USD was also very similar to what AUD/USD did. These guys are pretty much like cousins. They move similarly at least 80% of the time. So this was also a sell move for us this week, right? Now back to AUD/USD from the H4 time frame. Zooming in. Now, AUD/USD is still giving us signs that it is still to the downside with a major support level lying around this zone. And that specific price point, for the sake of those of us who do not have these indicators, is 0.68323. So there's a major support level that AUD/USD could trade into. Between that zone and where price currently is, we still have over 40 pips movement. So my bias for this asset class is still a sell. But I'm now expecting temporal buys because there's been a sunshine indicator that has been printed on the chart, which basically signifies profit taking. People who've been selling are taking profit out of the market. So of course, naturally, we expect a temporal buy, a temporal pullback, because the market doesn't just go one direction. It goes up, down, depending on, what characteristic pattern you are looking out for per time. So AUD/USD on the H1 time frame, These are now our pullback levels, POI 1, point of interest 2, and point of interest 3. What are they? 0.69286, 0.6994, and 0.71097 are my major points of interest on okay. So I'm going to walk us through it once again because I just realized my screen wasn't being shared. Sorry about that. So like I mentioned earlier on, I said AUD/USD primarily give us sell opportunities for this week. This was the weekend. This is Monday all through today. And we had, predominant sales of this asset class. Same thing for NZD/USD, which is why I mentioned that they tend to move in very similar directions majority of the time, right? So we're able to make some money off this market. And now we're not trying to see what it's going to be doing, moving into, the rest of today's session and also Monday's session. So we can make some money either for the weekend or prepare to make some money on Monday for the fresh week. Hence why we started off looking at AUD/USD on the H4 time frame, and you see how price was selling from here, still selling all the way here. And I mentioned that we have a major support level that is lying all the way down here, right? That price would eventually trade into before we now start to see whether it is either going to break through this one, continue to sell or find support and start to form a new trend in line with the major buy move we've seen from somewhere around the 19th of November all the way down here, yeah? So this is where we are now, sunshine printed, so we expect a temporal buy. Because people who were selling this have taken profit of the market, we're expecting a temporal, buy of this asset class. And then on H1, I marked out where the buy could stop at, which is why we have 3 major points of interest I already called 0.69286, 0.6994, and 0.71097, right? If this session is a bit fast, it's fine. You can always rewind on our YouTube channel. On the 5-minute time frame now, I've marked out, my most recent point of interest, support levels that could still serve as support or previous support that either saw resistance and vice versa. So we have yesterday's high and low marked out, day before yesterday's high and low also marked out. Price is currently lying around yesterday's low, acting as some sort of support. You see how price came to trade into this zone. It violated it at first, came back, we tested it 1, 2, and 3. So right now, we would want to see confirmations that would highlight that AUD/USD is going to start to buy from here. And those confirmations will be printed on the 1-minute time frame. If you'd like to see what these confirmations are, simply sign up for the Forex Bootcamp training offered by the Value for Trading Academy, right? So if this holds, we'll see confirmations and we could take a quick buy, targeting this all the way to our most recent POI on the H1, which would be this. And we can now decide to take partials here, allow the trade to run risk-free, targeting the next point of interest should AUD/USD buy reversal hold for much longer. So this is what we're reaching out for. This is a reversal trade. So our risk is not going to be the same as when we are going in line with, the sell opportunities that the market was presenting. Moving into NZD/USD on the H4 time frame, price is also to the downside. We have a major support level that we were looking out for on Monday that was validated swiftly to the downside. But sunshine has now been printed as well, so we expect a temporal retracement from where price currently is to our point of interest that I'm going to be marking out on the 1-hour time frame. Those points of interest are point of interest 1, which is somewhere around 0.56694, point of interest 2, which is 0.57592, and point of interest 3, which is 0.58500, right? So watch out for these levels on the 1-hour time frame. However, since this is the 1-hour time frame, it will take a while before price eventually trades in there. Hence why we are marking out, most recent points of interest on the 5-minute time frame. So yesterday's high marked out into today's price movement. Yesterday's low also marked out into today's price movement. This is double support, triple support level. Price came 1, 2, and 3 here. So this has also been marked out. Day before yesterday's low, which is, it has some sort of confluence with yesterday's low. And day before yesterday's high, which has a confluence with 1 hour point of interest that we marked out. So right now, price is not in any of the 4 major levels marked out on the 5-minute time frame, right? However, it is around the indicator. This indicator is also a POI, which is a momentum indicator, right? So if we see confirmations on 1-minute time frame that highlights or signifies that NZUSD is going to start to buy from here, giving us that retracement, we could take a quick buy of NZUSD. However, if we don't want to be on the aggressive side, since this is NZUSD and this entire move is not a lot, this is 36 pips, we could now decide to wait for price to come, validate the zones, retest, so that we can be on the safer side to continue to buy until we don't struggle in between a tiny range, similar to AUD USD as well. If you want to be on the conservative side, you can wait for price to come break through and retest this zone so that you're sure that the AUD USD retracement is going to happen from here, targeting the next level on the 1 hour time frame. And then finally looking at USD CAD as well. For this week, USD CAD gave us more buy moves with the sell triggering yesterday. The sell started to happen yesterday. Expected, however, there were more push of USD CAD to the upside before the sell eventually started. So now that the sunshine has been pushed further, the sell retracement has now started happening. We can now mark out our point of interest on the H1 time frame. That is POI 1, point of interest 2, and point of interest 3. Yeah. So 1.41994, 1.407706, and 1.38801 are now our 1 hour points of interest. Moving to the 5-minute time frame, we mark out yesterday's high and low, day before yesterday's high and low, similar to what we did on the other asset classes, right? So this marked out, that's yesterday's low and day before yesterday's low, marked into today's price movement. And this is one level because they are both at the same zones, also marked out, right? So we're expecting USD CAD to give us temporary sales, following what we've seen on H4. So if price is able to break through this zone and break through this zone, we know for sure that USD CAD sell retracement is in full force. So let's watch out for that. There's always confirmations that helps us to move according with the market, right? Or in sync with the market. So if you'd like to learn how every person today has been able to tell a story of what the market is doing, simply send us a WhatsApp message to 081 6099 5030 and let us get you on board. With that being said, thank you so much for joining. I look forward to seeing you come Monday. Make sure you spend some time to really enjoy yourself this weekend, but while you're also enjoying, make sure you give some time to study the market. Okay. Cheers. God bless. See you next week. Bye for now.